Alexander the Great, a Greek leader. Near 2,300 years ago, there lived a powerful leader named Alexander the Great. Alexander was the king of Macedonia, which was a part of ancient Greece. Alexander set out with his army to explore and claim new lands. He ended up with a great empire, preparing to be king. Alexander was born in 300, 306 BC. Alexander's father, Philip II, was king of Macedonia before Alexander, which with the support of a powerful army, Philip kept Macedonia and the most surrounding Greek city-states under his control. Alexander's mother, Olympias, formerly wanted her son to be king of Macedonia. One day, Alexander wanted to be a powerful leader. Alexander's strength became clear at an early age. When he was 12 years old, Philip decided not to buy a horse because it was too nervous. Alexander noticed that the horse was frightened by its own freedom. By turning the horse's head away from its saddle, he was able to calm the horse. Alexander then rode his new horse, whose name was Bucephalus, with ease. Bucephalus and Alexander would be together for life. When Alexander was growing up, his father was often away. Philip relied on special teachers to prepare his son to be king. Young men from Greece had to learn to hunt, ride horses, and fight with swords, javelins, and bows. Alexander and his friends needed to learn these skills to survive in battle. Philip asked Aristotle, a very wise man, to teach Alexander science, history, and other subjects. Aristotle was respected for his intelligence. He also helped Alexander appreciate art and culture. As he grew older, Alexander took on more responsibilities, including leading soldiers in battle. Alexander was great to be next king. However, in 337 BC, Philip married a woman who was born in Macedonia. Olympias was not a Macedonian. If Philip had a baby with his new wife, the child would be first in line to become king instead of Alexander. In 336 BC, Philip's new wife has a baby girl. In the same year, a man killed Philip. The new baby was too young to take the throne, and after Philip's death, Alexander became king. Becoming king. As soon as he became king, Alexander called on his former armies for support. Persia was Greece's longtime enemy and had taken Greek land in Asia Minor. Like Philip, Alexander wanted to rule Persia anymore. Many of the Greek city-states supported Alexander, but others were not sure about the young king and his grand ideas. The state had the power to keep Alexander from ruling Greece and could also ruin his plan in Asia. Alexander used force to maintain rule and silence people who opposed him. A year after becoming king, he set off for Asia Minor. When Alexander arrived in Asia Minor in 334 BC, he threw his spear into the ground and claimed the land. Soon after, the Macedonians fought the Persians in a battle at the Granicus River. Both armies were well trained on horseback and on foot. The Persians, however, fell quickly to the speed and power of Macedonians. Alexander and his men moved on. Next, Alexander and his army freed Greek cities along Aegean Sea. Darius III, the king of Persia, went to fight Alexander and the Greeks in the Battle of Issus. The Persians again lost to the Macedonians. Darius managed to escape. Alexander traveled south to stop Persian ships by taking control of cities along the Mediterranean Sea. Some fought back, but the Macedonians' strength and skill dominated. In 333 BC, Alexander marched south into Egypt. The Persian leader there gave Alexander control. Alexander gave Egyptian government position. He permitted their religion. The Egyptians welcomed him. Alex decided to move farther into Asia, east of Asia Minor. In what is Iraq today, the final battle with the Persians took place in 331 BC. Darius again led the battle after losing the Macedonians. Now Alexander ruled the Persian Empire. He traveled through Persia trying to find Darius before Alexander could find him. However, Darius was killed by a local leader. As Alexander gained control of more land and people, he started following Persian customs and asked his men to do the same. He began to demand that the Macedonians bow to him, as the Persians did. Many Macedonians did not like Alexander's new way. A Macedonian army struggled in 326 BC in the land they call India. As they moved farther east, after winning a difficult battle, Alexander continued on through India. He was badly injured along the way but managed to recover. Alexander pushed his men to keep moving, even though it caused them great danger. After fighting for nearly 10 years, Many of Alexander's men were tired and wanted to go home. They finally convinced him to turn around. They made it to Babylon in 323 BC. However, Alexander came down with a fever, and in June of that year, Alexander the Great died just before he turned 33. The life of Alexander the Great. Alexander's empire included parts of Europe, Asia, and Africa. His life was not just about taking control of land and ruling people. Perhaps because of his early education, he learned the traditions of his new empire, and in turn, he and the Macedonians spread Greek culture in new lands.